Imagine if Martin Luther King, all those years ago in Washington, when he gave his great speech, had said, "I have a strategic plan." How different the course of history might have been. But he didn't. He said, "I have a dream." It was evocative. He painted a vision of the kind of world he wanted to live in, and it captivated the imagination of generation after generation after generation. Imagine if my head teacher had said to me, "Look, you haven't done well at school, but that's just one measure. The world is still your oyster. Go out there, find your talents, discover your strengths, and make all you can of yourself." But he didn't. He said, as he was expelling me, "I really don't think you'll amount to much." My life spiraled after that. Ended up sleeping out in London. And one night, it was cold, and a charity pulled up, and they offered me one night in a hostel, accommodation. So I was taken in this van to a big hostel, and I was shown into a tiled room. I'll never forget this. And I was told to take my clothes off. And the next thing I know, there was a hose pointed at me and unleashed, top to bottom, back to front. And I felt so humiliated. I escaped back into the streets because at least there I had some dignity. And it wasn't the words that were spoken, it was the words that weren't spoken. You see, like many homeless people, my priority was not accommodation. It was to feel valued, to feel significant, to have a name, to have a history, even to have dreams. That wasn't forthcoming. Step forward a few years. I'd been working in building sites all around London. And like many employees at the time, I'd had the full raft of, words that people use. "You're not paid to think. That's above your pay grade. Don't answer me back. If you make a mistake, you'll get a ton of bricks falling on you." And one day, I was assigned a building site in Earls Court. And I arrived early in the morning, eager to work. And this foreman with a soft hat and a broken nose put his arm around me and he says, "Welcome, Michael." And he took me to this hut. He said, "Before we start, I want to show you something." And he showed me the plans and he said, "This is the palace you're building." A palace. Suddenly I felt this incredible energy rising up. And he had opened up a different kind of workplace because I saw a purpose. I saw myself contributing to this glistening new building that would rise into the London skyline. That night I went and met my friends in the pub. They were all slumped at the bar, looking down at their pints. "What are you so chirpy about?" they said. I said, "Guys, I'm building a palace." It was that powerful. And a few weeks after that, the same foreman said to me, "Michael, will you do me a favour?" I said, "Yes, of course." And he handed me these keys. And he said, "I'm going to be late tomorrow. Will you open up the site?" Remember, lots of valuable materials lying about. And I said, "Me? Open up the site?" He said, "Yes, I trust you." I left the site and tears rolled down my cheeks. No one had ever said to me in my life that they trusted me. That was the power of those words. I clutched the keys close to me in case I lost them. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I went into work early and I opened the site. I felt that I had elevated responsibility. It was an enormously important moment. The words, "I trust you." He also said, "Well done." Alex Ferguson, who in a Harvard lecture said the most important words in his job as a football coach were, "Well done." Language really does matter. And when I look around at how words have been denigrated, how we use them to poison, to take people down, to insult people, to wound them, sometimes fatally. And yet we've got the same power of words that can lift people, can elevate, can empower, can motivate, can inspire. So I have a dream that one day soon we will rediscover that the power we have with the words we choose to use when we're speaking or writing are ones that lift people rather than sink them. At this time especially, I can think of no more important mission than to bring language back to where it belongs as an empowerment tool, not something that takes people down. I've felt the ill winds of criticism, words that put me down. I never want to experience that again, ever. Words are that powerful.